everyone, welcome to Garden Air. I hope you're all doing fabulous. Today I'm just going to take you on a quick little tour of what I have going on in the garden and show you what's blooming, show you what's up, some of the progress we've been making, and it's raining. It's a perfect day for it. So let's get into it. So this is coming along the back bed, which was started as mostly a rose garden, and things are starting to bloom and get busy. So this is a giant Nepeta catmint with a yellow knockout rose. There's actually some cilantro here growing and going to seed in the front. Some salvia in the back with a beautiful bumblebee visiting. A whole lot of daylilies and hostas. I've got daylilies kind of like sprawled all throughout behind those hostas right there. Some irises still trying to bloom. I'm actually getting ready to weed this garden, so you're seeing it pretty raw and in need of some maintenance, which is fine with me. I can show my garden in reality. It doesn't always have to be picture perfect for a video. This is Bishop's Castle Rose, which is loaded in buds and just about to burst open. So I will definitely get a rose video up when everyone's really blooming nicely for the year. This is an Alnwick Rose. Beautiful scent on the Alnwick Rose. It's quite different. It's very soft, very feminine rose. Just an absolutely beautiful rose that I wasn't expecting to love quite as much as I do. Beautiful cup-shaped flowers. More daylilies back there. I have some sweet peas growing here and just some things coming in, like those will be cone flowers. I have some thyme. Oh, there's a toad. I don't know if the video just captured him, but there's a toad hopping through here. There he is. Hi, little guy. This is a white ground cover rose. And this is the section we've been working on. I've caught it in a few videos before. This is all just freshly tilled and now just waiting to be planted. We have the garden walk that we're going to be in for the town coming up in 2 weeks. So I've been really busy trying to get things ready and done for the garden tour. We'll have like 400 people coming through for that weekend, so it's a big deal and going to be very busy. Some peonies that are blooming. Some of them are almost done. I can't believe the peonies just go so quickly, don't they? This is 2 of them. This is a beautiful rose bush too. This is the Ancient Mariner. Another one from David Austin. Most of my roses are David Austin. I'll tell you if it's not a David Austin. This one's getting to put off some big blooms as well. This is a Munstead Rose, a really small one. This one came in not in the greatest condition, and David Austin actually sent me another one to replace this one, and that one's doing much better. This one has been staying really tiny, but it's managing and it still blooms. This is just a knockout rose. This is another rose. Benjamin Britten getting ready to bloom. And this gorgeous one is Gertrude Jekyll. Absolutely fabulous scent on the Gertrude Jekyll. And the one behind it is Tess of the D'Urberville. She will put off some really bold red roses. Not a lot of fragrance on Tess, but she is absolutely beautiful. Great for turning it into a climber if you want to do that. Coming through here, another peony that's been struggling to bloom. I think something's eating this one, so it's been struggling to get its blooms open. This is my strawberry patch. We actually picked some yesterday. They're just starting to come ready. So big, huge strawberry patch. We get a lot out of this. These are all June bearing strawberries. And that's the back garden. Coming up along through the side of the house, we have some gladiolas popping up there. These are easy elegance roses called Superhero, planted with some salvia. So here's one of the roses. Nice bright red, no scent to these. These are really just easy care landscape type roses. They are just starting their flush of blooms. There's an iris. I had just put in some baby hostas in here too. They're just starting to come up. Some beautiful hostas there. And we're coming around to the front garden. This is actually the other Munstead wood rose that they sent me to replace the small one in the back. Munstead wood is fabulous. It smells gorgeous. Beautiful, deep burgundy color. I can't say anything bad about this rose except for the fact it has massive thorns. That's it. This rose is wonderful. It's a spectacular performer. Smells absolutely wonderful and is just beautiful. Disease resistant, the whole 9 yards. Irises, not looking so great. Time to get in there and start cutting back some of the dead heads. They just kind of go so fast, don't they? You'll get like these fireworks of irises blooming and then they're done before you know it. There's where my red iris is. Also finishing up another peony. This will be a blue delphinium getting ready to bloom. There's lilies coming up in the back. More catmint. Another yellow knockout rose. My corgi. Hi baby, say hi. Yui's on camera. That's Lady. Hiding behind the geraniums. And that one over there is Fenrir. He's my son's corgi. Little Chubbawub. So yes, we have gardens and corgis. This black iris is called Before the Storm. It is a reblooming bearded iris with some more catmint blooming off behind it. Some daylilies kind of filling in. This rose is Sceptered Isle. This rose bush is Earth Angel, not by David Austin, getting ready to bloom beautifully as well. We have an Abraham Darby. The yellow rose in the back is Poet's Wife. Very fragrant, absolutely wonderful rose, getting ready also to start putting off a ton of blooms. And then I have two Lady of Shallots here. Again, David Austin roses on the Lady of Shallot. Beautiful cup shape and just this sunset kind of coloring. This little one down here is a small Desdemona rose. Very peachy, but will also go very white. Just starting to get some size on that one. Some delphinium growing up with my lupines. Lupines are almost done. Some liatris coming up there getting ready to bloom. Some lilies. More irises kind of hanging on. I've got some snapdragons and there's some dahlias planted in here waiting to shoot up more. There's some bloom flowers waiting to bloom. This is a Tiffany Rose and just lots going on. This rose is a Dick Clark rose. Absolutely phenomenal rose there. very good performer. This is a bed that I'm just starting to put in and fill out, and I'll be spreading this out more into that direction as I get more to put out here. So right now there's a dahlia, some coreopsis, some foxgloves, some lilies, my variegated yucca, and I'll be filling this in as I go. Some roses up there, and we'll move on to the shade garden. Okay, this is coming up around the back of the house where some of the shade garden is. So lots of hostas. This little guy here is a blue mouse ears hosta. I think this one is Patriot. And some Cebu blues and June hosta, one of my favorites. I don't know the name of all the hostas. I try to remember them, but I'm so busy remembering all the roses that a lot of my other plants ID names kind of end up getting lost in my mind, but that's okay. I really just have them for the beauty. So the great big, this is actually a type of woo. It's not Empress woo. I think it might be, I think they're called like Princess woo or something like that. They're a little bit smaller than the Empress, but they still get absolutely huge and gorgeous, and I love them. Eventually I'll look for an Empress woo. I just have to figure out where I would put one, but I love this hosta. It just takes up all this space and it's fabulous. There's a hydrangea in there that's kind of struggling. This is an endless summer hydrangea, and I'm finding that the soft stemmed hydrangeas just don't do all that great here for me, whereas the woody stemmed hydrangeas do. I have a few woody stems that do amazing, and then a few of the soft stems like the endless summers that just always seem to struggle. So I'm going to be sticking with the wood stemmed hardy hydrangeas here from this point on. Some they're not hercuras. These are helleborus and more hosta and fern and just things kind of like clumped up. This bed gets a lot of sun earlier in the day, so it starts off kind of shady out this way and gradually turns more into like a sun bed as it moves on more out there. Some irises finishing up, and lots of different things kind of just packed in here because it is like shade and sun. So more little hostas. There's some astilbe in here. I really have to get in and clean up this bed. I haven't really done any weeding in here yet this year. It's been very minimal because I've been so busy on the vegetable garden, but I will get in here and work on this very soon. Maybe I'll do a work day video for the channel. There's like more hostas and ferns, and I put some bachelor's buttons in over there. There's a lot of tulips and hyacinths that come up in this garden for the early spring, lots of daffodils, and then all this stuff kind of comes in and takes up its place. The box, I have lantana, dahlias, and some canna lilies popping up in those. And I just have my orchids out right now because it's raining, so some of my big orchids are getting some much needed watering from the rain. I wouldn't do that with phalaenopsis, but like my cattleyas and things like that are fine to sit out in the rain. I have to deadhead my alliums and just get in here and do some cleaning up. My hardy geranium is gorgeous this year. So pretty. That's filling in a lot more than I thought it would. And this cornflower, just, it was here when I moved in, and there are some spots I keep trying to pull it. Like I want it, that clump is fine. This clump is not so fine because it's competing with that geranium, and I can't get this cornflower to just disappear. It just comes back all the time, no matter how much I fight with it. So I guess I've learned to kind of accept it a little bit. That's a turtle head, which is a native wildflower here in Illinois. a variegated iris, some yarrow, some lilies coming up here, a few different sedums, some more hostas. These are some I got like 10 of these tiny baby hostas I ordered on Etsy this year, and they're all like coming up, and they're just so cute because they only have like 1 or 2 leaves. There's another one over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at more than 2 leaves. Look at that one. Just these little babies. I bought like 10 of them for $10, and they're all coming up really nicely. So that was a good buy, I think. More weeding that has to get done in here, but here's more of those cornflowers that are just taking over on me. And this is one of those woody stemmed hydrangeas. I think, I can't remember which this one is. It might be, I don't think it's, oh, I cannot remember which type this is. I'm sorry, but I just can't remember. I know it's not an Annabelle. It might be a Limelight, actually. I'm pretty sure it's a Limelight. And that was the bed that we already walked through. And I'll take you down to the vegetable garden, which is starting to fill in. So I'll just take you through the rest of the shade bed here. Hostas everywhere. I have all these green hostas because there were a whole bunch of them around our pool when we bought the house. And I didn't want them around the pool because it was like smack out in the sun and they were really suffering. So I divided a lot of them, moved a lot of them. So I have all these green hostas that just needed homes, and we ended up sticking them kind of like in these random places and instead of, you know, getting rid of them or whatever. So that's why you see so many green hostas just clumped around, because when I first moved in, I just didn't know what else to do with them. So they're getting big now. So this is a little bed of impatiens I just put in, and then there's one of the vegetable beds with some different lettuces growing. I've got yellow squash. Those are crooknecks. And there's butternut squash down here, tomatillas. There's carrots, black beans, watermelons, cucumbers, broccoli, some cabbage, and some leeks, kind of all in these different beds here. This is kind of an experimental bed because it only gets like half sun, half shade, and I'm experimenting with what does good in here. This is all potatoes, and I'm like so happy with these potatoes because I really had to do a lot of reading on how to take care of them. I always was afraid to do potatoes because they were just so much work with all of the clumping, but I realized it's actually very easy. And I've just been piling my potatoes with straw instead of dirt. I was reading about that, so I'm anxious to see how this hilling with straw goes for me. I've just gotten it to the point where the hilling is like really deep. It's over a foot deep. So all the bottoms of the potatoes shouldn't be getting any sun. So I'm really hoping we have a great crop of potatoes. That row is purple potatoes. It's actually going to flower right now. And as you can see, the potato is in the nightshade family, and this flower is very similar to nightshade flowers or like flowers you would see on eggplants and tomatoes because they're all in the same family. Yeah, so these guys are all hilled up. These are purple potatoes, and then these are russet potatoes. And if these do really good here this year, I am going to dedicate a lot more space to potatoes next year and hopefully get just a ton of them, because if there's anything we eat a lot of, it's potatoes. Okay, so this bed is really filling in. There's zinnias coming up, sunflowers. There's a little row right here of leeks. I really like leeks, so I have quite a bit. There's extra leeks at the end of this bed. There's chamomile sprouting up, nasturtiums, which taste really good. They're like a peppery kind of leaf, and the flowers when it blooms are also edible. There's some seeds in here I just put in, so there's some things in here not sprouting yet. There's some carrots, some spinach, but then there's some basil, and there's some more peas in here that are planted, and sweet Thai basil. My rabbits and chipmunks keep eating my basil, so this is all getting eaten. So I just started some more seeds up here, and hopefully they'll have time to really sprout and grow up in the box, and hopefully be more protected from the little critters that keep eating my basil. So just some different things going on here. Beets, sweet sugar peas, and some dill. My dill's doing really good. Can't wait to make fresh pickles. More carrots. You can't ever have enough carrots, so anytime I have a blank space, I just tend to throw carrot seeds in there. There's like a random carrot growing right there. I didn't have time to get my sweet potato starts. There's a plane going over. So I've got this guy going right now, and it's leafed off now. So really what I need to do is pinch off this whole stem, and now root this, and then plant the stem, and each stem will grow me some sweet potatoes. And you know, it's not like growing potatoes, but they weren't sprouting in the house, so I put them in the dirt like this to see if they'll sprout, and they're sprouting a lot better now. But I can't really keep growing them like this. I have to pinch off each sprout and root it. So I have to do that probably this afternoon if I really want time to grow any sweet potatoes. Beets are in here doing their thing. I have another row of beets I just started that are just coming up. So all of this is busy doing its thing. More cucumbers. There's some bush cucumbers as well as some climbers. So that lattice is there waiting for the climbers to be ready. There's some broccoli, peppers. These are red bell peppers. And there's some peas and beans. Not quite up yet. There's watermelon, little baby watermelon plants. More beets. A couple of pumpkins. I only did like 2 pumpkins because I don't have a lot of space in here. My eggplant's the only thing not sprouting, but there's rows and rows of tomatoes. There's beefsteak, heirloom, and Roma tomatoes in here. Lots of onions. And the last few rows are corn. And that's all doing. Look at this corn. It's like growing really nicely. Corn is a heavy feeder, so if you grow corn, make sure you feed it. Make sure you turn in some composted manure and things like that, and then feed your plants as they grow. They are huge feeders, and without really boosting them a lot, you might not get anything out of them. And they should be in rows, like they have to cross-pollinate. So you really want to put your corn in rows and let the wind cross-pollinate them. These are banana peppers, and that's the vegetable garden. Just really starting to do its thing and get busy. I have some various vegetables sitting in the greenhouse. All of this is new, so all of these plants are just starting to fill in. It's a brand new bed, and there's like, what do I have? I have peppers and tomatoes in the greenhouse because they like it warm. I'm kind of experimenting with how they do in there. There's a bucket of mint, more leeks, and I have a bucket of lettuce. And just some random things kind of filling in. The wisteria is in bloom, and it's gorgeous. And I'm hoping to like really drape that wisteria around this birdhouse come next year. We have a family of sparrows living in there, and the babies are out learning to fly now. And I'm thinking like once I drape the wisteria kind of over it, they'll have a lot more privacy in their little house, but it smells beautiful. I love Wisteria. It's just a matter of keeping it under control because it does get crazy big and takes over. So you either love Wisteria or you hate it, I think. And that will complete my little garden tour for today. I will definitely do some more as more of the gardens come into bloom and as things get growing and harvesting. Let me know some of the things that you guys want to see or learn about. Sometimes I'm really at a loss at what to do for videos, and some ideas and suggestions would really be appreciated. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.